Hello, friends. Can you guys hear the birds in the background? I'm on my walk, my neighborhood, and this neighborhood has crazy beautiful trees with really amazing birds. So, if you've been following my stories, you'll probably have seen that I was in Spain, and I was in Spain for about 11 days for one of my beautiful friends' wedding. It was such a fantastic ceremony. It was like perfectly planned. She did an amazing job with her husband. And after that, it was just free time spending it with friends and just enjoying our anniversary, my 15-year anniversary with my husband, and just really enjoying vacation. And, to get to that point, to be on vacation, I had to work a little bit more upfront, plan my classes, practice some of my own dancing just a little bit more because I go to Egypt in 3 weeks and I want to be practice a little bit of my own technique to just get it on top of my brain and in my body more. And as I was on vacation so I had to prep essentially leading into vacation, and I worked harder. And then the minute that I was on vacation, I was like, yes, I'm so excited. However, I left a little bit of guilt on the table. So I was like, I could have done this a little bit more. I should have prepped for my students a little bit more. I didn't do this marketing thing. I still have, I didn't post this about my membership and all of that stuff. And then as I was in vacation, about to come back, I noticed I was experiencing a lot of anxiety. And I was like, oh my God, if you haven't known this about me, I actually experience anxiety pretty frequently. Pretty much daily, I experience anxiety. And I just manage it really well for the most part. Not always, but I manage it pretty good. And towards the end of my vacation, I was like, oh man, I'm having a lot of anxiety about work. I got to come back. I have a lot of things I got to do. In 3 weeks, I leave to Egypt, so I have to plan all that, pack my family, because my whole family's coming with me, and all of that stuff. And I just noticed towards the end of my vacation, instead of enjoying my vacation, what ended up happening was I just freaked out about coming back to home and working more and really getting things done. So now that I'm back, and this is my first day really working. I taught class last night, but this is my first day really working. Oh my God, my anxiety was off the chain. I was like, oh my God, I need to be I missed so much work time, and now I have to get caught up, and I gotta be prepared, and I gotta make sure I take care of my students, and I gotta market my membership. Same conversation as before I left vacation. And then when I was on vacation, living it up. But as soon as I knew I had to come back, I was like, oh my God, back in work mode, right? Back in anxiety. And one of the things that I did was I just allowed myself to acknowledge what was there for me, my anxiety, and knowing that this is typical. What happens when I come back from vacation is there are things that will take a little bit more time to get back in the flow of, only because I was gone for a considerable amount of time. And then to allow myself that space to accommodate me coming back to work. So you may not have this kind of vacation anxiety with work. Maybe you do, maybe you don't. But what I feel like a lot of women out there experience is this on a day-to-day when you take time for yourself. So it may not be a vacation. Maybe it's just taking me time for 15 minutes. It's like the anticipation of feeling guilty of taking that time before you actually take it while you're still doing your work is so heightened. And then once you take the time, you enjoy it for a little bit. But as soon as your 15-minute timer is about to end, your guilt, anxiety, nervousness, whatever it is, kicks the fuck back up. And you're like, whew, I can't even relax anymore because I only got 2 minutes left. And then I have to go back to doing my daily tasks and all of that. And then once you're back in your daily tasks, you feel bad that you didn't optimize on the 15 minutes that you had to take for yourself. So now you have guilt and anxiety and nervousness and probably a little bit of shame that you're not doing a good enough job as a mom, as a woman, as a person who works, as a person who is like playing multiple roles, and now you have all this like inside of you, right? And I just want to share with you that sometimes it's not so black and white. It's not so I end my 15 minutes and then I can just pick it back up, and then I'm not going to enter those 15 minutes of me time, and then I'm just going to immediately feel guilt-free. Sometimes you just have to allow yourself a little bit of mental preparation before you enter that new space, that new time allocation that you have for yourself. So it could look like, I have 5 minutes left of work time or whatever you have on your to-do list, and what you're going to do is you're just going to allow yourself to prepare for the me time. And I think this is where people start to think that, well, I shouldn't have to prepare. That's more work to do. It's more things I got to get done on the list. But let me tell you what, if you prepared 1 to 2 minutes before entering that new space in your head, that new space physically, what if you could optimize the full 15 minutes of your me time, and then when you actually got back to work, you felt actually rejuvenated, you felt actually complete about what you were doing. And we think that we should just be able to cut it so black and white, and it should be a clean cut of time. But a lot of the time our brains don't really work that way, and we as people don't actually work that way. So if you prepare for the next phase of time mentally, you will be surprised at how much more you can optimize the time when you get into that new chunk. How much more you can optimize the me time. How much more you can optimize your task list without feeling guilty or shame or a heightened level of anxiety, or like making yourself feel really bad about not doing what you could have done when you had the time to do it. And I put this in quotes because it's so, when I may be using air quotes completely wrong. I may totally be doing it. But it's also your definition of what you're supposed to get done in that time. And so I just want to encourage you to allow yourself to prepare for that phase, for that transition. And this, it translates to every area of your life. And for those of you who have been wanting to learn belly dancing, many of you are like, well, I feel guilty taking time out for myself. And if I can't even feel good about taking 15 minutes, what makes me think I'm going to feel okay with taking an hour a week to take take my Zoom class? And the key thing here is, are you mentally preparing yourself to accept that you can feel a particular way entering the class and then leaving the class? Are you mentally giving yourself the space to have these emotions come up and be okay with them? Are you preparing yourself to allow yourself to dance guilt-free, or with a little bit of guilt, but being willing to accept that small amount of guilt? Sometimes you'll come to class and you'll feel guilty a little bit. And maybe the goal isn't to get rid of it, but to let it coexist with you taking class, so you can still take class even if that guilt is there. And then through time, learn how to minimize and then completely diminish the guilt of taking time for yourself. So I wanted to offer you this perspective because I think it's really important for you to see that no matter what facet of life that you're in, when you change into something that involves you, taking care of you for fun or enjoyment, many of us go through the same experience. So I want to offer that you prepare for yourself to take care of yourself. So if you've been wanting to do my belly dance classes, I'm about to cross a little street, so I don't want to get hit. Sorry. So I want to offer, if you want to take belly dance classes with me, I would love to have you in any capacity that you come. If you feel guilty, if you feel bad, if you feel rushed, if you feel like bad that you should be doing something else, if you're supposed to be somewhere else, if you should be doing somewhere else, I want you to know that you're welcome in my class. I get it. You're not supposed to show up to everything 100% all the time. That's just not going to happen. But you can show up having compassion for yourself and still dance. You can show up mentally preparing that you might have tinges of guilt here and there, but it's still worth it for you to take time for yourself because you know the payoff will be massive in doing something you love, moving your body, being with other women, listening to bomb ass fucking music, right? And just enjoying it. So I want you to come take belly dance classes with me and get that me time in for yourself. Do something that you love. I know you've been watching my videos because you love belly dancing. It's not because you love watching me necessarily. It's because you want to learn how to do this for yourself. So I want you to come learn. And I hope you being able to apply this tidbit of preparing yourself to take class will be helpful for you. And when you become a member with me, I will help you refine and polish that process so the guilt diminishes, like I was talking about, and eventually it can go away completely. So friends, come belly dance with me. I would love to have you in class. I would love to see you. And I'm looking forward to helping you take care of yourself. Mwah. Have a beautiful day.